Time now for Sit 6-0. This is where I get 60 seconds to talk about anything. Start the clock, please. Here's what's on my mind this morning. Quick story. This is Novak Djokovic, top men's tennis player in the world. Not vaccinated, arrived for the Australian Open on a special medical visa, was detained, and a judge recently said his visa was valid. This is Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison. Amid public outcry about Djokovic's visa, he attempted to send him home. Keep in mind, Australia has seen some of the world's most serious lockdowns. And this is a koala. There are 80,000 of them in Australia and have nothing to do with the story, but they're pretty darn cute. Look at this guy. Look at this put him. It's a koala. Scott Morrison's already failed once to get Djokovic out of town, and he is going to try again, I guarantee it. Another failed attempt would be, as they say in tennis, a double fault that history won't soon forget. Either way here, Djokovic is either the living, breathing martyr for the unvaxxed or he gets to play. Prime Minister Morrison has more on the line. Arash Madani of Sportsnet, he's forgotten more about tennis than he'll ever know, has been kind enough to join us. Arash, great to see you. What are the developments early this morning? Because we have some significant ones.
Well, first of all, I think the koala is the only adult in the room of the three of those.
Yeah, Arash. Yes. Arash Madani, ladies and gentlemen, yes.
And what's interesting about this is that Australia has actually sent home a female Czech player who had a medical exemption, who had been in the country for 8 days, already competed in a tournament, but because of the Djokovic saga, they removed her. It's a mess. Now Novak has come out overnight, effectively Sid, and said, I tested positive for COVID back on December 17th. It was my agent's fault for filling out the paperwork wrong. Even when I had tested positive for COVID, I sat down with L'Equipe, an outlet out of France, posed for a photo shoot without a mask, yet nothing to see here. This has turned into a political football more than a tennis match. And don't forget, Prime Minister Morrison, he's up for re-election in May. So this has just continued to be a pinball of a soap opera.
Man, that's a tough re-election campaign if you can't take down the world's #1 tennis player. Like, how do you make the argument to your country you can govern? But politically, the optics are that, right? Like, this is what's on the line. As I mentioned, I feel like Djokovic almost can't lose here from a certain PR perspective. I understand people are mad at him, but either way, he gets to play and go for his record 21st Grand Slam, or he becomes this vilified figure in certain aspects of the world, but for 15% of the population, he's a hero. Arash, before we let you go, there's got to be a breaking point time-wise here for this decision. Tournament starts Sunday. What should we be looking at?
Well, the Australian Open Committee wants a decision by tomorrow, Sid, and the Australian government has told the Tennis Australia, you've done enough here already. You've put us into this mess.
Good point.
So I don't think there's, from a judge standpoint, there isn't anything imminent. The other day, remember, Australia canceled Djokovic's visa. He appealed it. Djokovic's camp won the appeal, except the Australian federal government can actually say, no, we're still going to kick you out and ban you for up to 3 years. So timing on this, well, Tennis Australia wants an answer. The government's saying, we're not playing by your timelines, we're playing by ours.
20 seconds, Arash. What happens here?
Djokovic, if he plays, will be out in the first week of the tournament. Sid, until yesterday, he hadn't picked up a racket in over a week. He's not match fit. He's not match ready. I still think he plays after all of this.
Stay tuned. Tomorrow should be a big day. You're right, Arash. Arash Madani, Sportsnet. Appreciate you. Great stuff. Thanks, man.